Hello everyone, hope you're well. Wedding photography tips, mainly for beginners, but it could help people that you know, more advanced than me, you know, more experienced than me. They might think, oh, actually I might give that a go at a wedding. So it's just 5 quick tips. I'll give a quick explanation why I do it, and I'll have a little picture or a video going over each tip from things I've done in the past, you know, BTS weddings, blah blah blah. Anyway, yeah, so let's go. Tip number 1, use your histogram. So many photographers don't use histogram. I've spoken to photographers and I go, oh yeah, you know, when I use my histogram, and they go, histogram, what's that? Which baffles me. You know, use your histogram. It's on every camera. You can have it live when you're looking, you know, when I use a Fujifilm, you can see it through the viewfinder. If you don't know what a histogram is, it's basically showing you the exposure of the frame. I'm not going to cover it too much, but goes too far to the left, you're well underexposed. Too far to the right, you're overexposed. Don't ever go overexposed. If you're going to do one of them, go underexposed, because you've got more chance of bringing the details back, the highlights, compared to being overexposed. But you want that little mountain peak, want it to be sort of bang in the middle if you can, and the light meter connected with that to the side. Use that as well. You know, ideally you want it on 0. I always normally sort of have it between 0 and -1. I'd rather be like a stop under to protect the highlights, which goes on to tip number 2, protecting the highlights. I shoot for highlights. That's all I look at in a room. I look where the light is. I expose for the highlights, even if it's the highlights on someone's face and the rest of the room's dark still. I don't care, because I can bring that back in post if I need the shadows raised. But most of the time, the way I shoot, I wouldn't say I'm a dark and moody wedding photographer, but I suppose, yeah, I wouldn't brand myself dark and moody, but some people might say I am, because I expose for highlights. But I'm not trying to make my photos dark and moody. I'm just exposing for the highlights. I think it looks better. It can be very impactful, you know, very striking. If you look at the best street photographers, how they expose for the highlights on the streets, it can really tell a story and can really make, for example, a wedding dress pop. Expose for the highlights. Tip number 3, shoot in black and white. A lot of people don't do this, and I've had people comment on my POV videos when they can see my camera raise, and they go, shooting in black and white? I go, yeah, because I shoot in RAW. It's when I generate it through my Mac, it's obviously colour. Black and white helps so much. I learnt it from Kevin Mullins years ago, from following him as a YouTuber, and I went to his workshop. And oh my god, the benefits of shooting in black and white are priceless. You know, it helps you so much. You know, you can see things shooting in black and white that your eyes might miss, and it opens a new world shooting in black and white. So when I look at, when I go into a room now, I'm already picturing it in black and white because of the highlights. I'm always protecting the highlights. So try it. You might not like it, you might hate it, but give it a go, you know, when you're doing street photography or family photography, whatever you do in your spare time, and you know, just see if you like it. Tip number 4, rule of thirds. One of the most important things I've learnt from day one, and I'll always stick with it. Use it on your camera. I think most cameras have got this setting. Fujifilm users, you've easily got it. So when you're looking through your viewfinder on the back of the screen, you see the rule of thirds come up. It's just a nice little tool to help you make sure you're placing your subjects in the rule of thirds. Remembering the rule of the human eye doesn't ever lead to the middle of a screen. You naturally go to the corners. Stupid really advice that I'm saying at the moment, because I'm videoing this straight bang on the middle, but there you go. Yeah, when you're at a wedding, try and use the rule of thirds as much as possible. It makes your images a lot more interesting. You can introduce storytelling in that rule of thirds. It makes your images a lot more interesting and not as boring as some wedding photographers. So yeah, make sure you use that. Tip number 5, try your best to use same camera and lens all day. I don't want to change people's opinion if you're a zoom shooter, because that ain't me. I don't shoot zooms. I don't use zooms. I used to, so I know from experience I don't like them. So I don't want to preach on here though and make it sound like don't shoot zooms. It doesn't mean it doesn't make you a proper photographer. That's a load of bollocks, because it's not true. It's just my opinion. I prefer primes. But if you are a zoom shooter, try and stick on that. You might have loads of different zooms, 16 to 35, I think it is, for the Trinity, Holy Trinity they used to call it. 16 to 35, no, 16 to, God, I can't even remember now. Then you got the wide ones, 16 to maybe 35, and then a 24 to 70, a 70 to 200. Try and use one lens and try and stick between 1 to 2 focal lengths. So I'm a prime shooter, so I stick to 35 and 85mm. It's better for storytelling. I walk around, I'll look at a frame, I'll shoot 35mm, and I'll look again, I go, okay, this could do with an 85mm as well, cropping more for a more detailed shot of someone and telling a wide shot of that story. You can always shoot at least 4 or 5 frames in one position. You haven't got to keep moving around, make it easier for yourself. But the best way to do that is practicing with the same equipment. You know, if you keep changing, so many photographers buy so much gear and they just swap it every wedding. They're going, oh, I'm going to go into this lens now, I'm going to go, and you're never going to master it. So try and use one lens, one body as much as you can and master that, you know, for your weddings. That's my 5 tips for mainly for beginners into wedding photography, but you know, there might be some pros on here that, you know, could take, I think especially the black and white tip, but apart from that, I think most of these tips are more for beginners, and I think, you know, it'd help them a lot. If you liked it, please subscribe. I'm not going to say that every video because I don't like doing it, it's cringy. I've got to do it every so often, do you know what I mean? But have a lovely week wherever you are. Cheers, see you later.